Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where I want to point out we're going to be starting this campaign on the open beta of version 3.8. This might be a bad idea. We'll see how it goes, but version 3.8 is going to come out fairly soon, and I wanted to start on this branch in hopes that that creates less issues, right? Suppose I should say fewer issues down the road. So that's the overall idea. Mostly the big new feature here is co-op play, and we're not going to be using that technically, but looking through the changelog, it looks like there's a decent amount of actually quite interesting quality of life changes, particularly to the UI. So that's very interesting, and we're going to be playing on this version. We will be updating to 3.8 when that is fully out, but because we're on beta, we should anticipate there might be some bugs here and there, and we may need to restart the game when 3.8 comes out. It's unlikely, but it is a possibility. So we're going to start this with the caveat that this may or may not be the actual playthrough, which is unusual, very unusual. But we should talk a bit about what this playthrough is intended to be. We are intending to create an economic-focused empire, not a conquest-focused empire. This will be... Okay, so I was planning for this to be an achievement run. Doing an achievement run on this open beta is probably a bad idea. If we have to restart, we will be angling for some achievements. If we don't have to restart, fine. So we're going to hit this new game button. This is not going to be an achievement run for now. But if we do have to restart, we will restart into an achievement run when this is no longer in beta. I just don't want to do an Iron Man playthrough of a YouTube campaign in a beta. I feel like that's not a great idea. So we're going to create ourselves a new empire here. This is going to be an economic run, and we are looking to create like a construction company. This construction company's goal is to build like a bunch of mega structures, right? But not necessarily within our territory. We're not a pacifist empire. We want to provide construction proposals to other nations. And they will accept those proposals. There is no declining them. So we're going to construct in their territory. Well, we might have to take over the territory to do that, but that's going to be the idea here. So what are we going to go with for our appearance? I wish there was a random button, but I want to go with something that is like suitably mega corporation, like suitably ghoulish would be the idea. So we want to go with somebody kind of like, like a Necroid, probably. Yeah, these are pretty ghoulish. I'm immediately drawn to this fine gentleman right here. But let me take a look at some of these. No, this guy. This guy is definitely the guy to go with. That is fantastic. I love it. Like, he's 90% chin. Absolute perfection. So what is he going to be? Do we care about these species names? Molarnock is kind of funny, but I don't think that's all that relevant. It doesn't really matter what our species name is, to be honest. We could be the Moloqui. I'm okay with that. Gender is completely and totally irrelevant here. So as far as name lists go, what are the Necroid name lists like? Just reading through these real quick here, that's not really what I'm going for. I think that we are going to potentially go through some of these. I mean, there's the humanoid ones. I'm looking for something that is much more corporate themed. I don't think there's a corporate themed name list, which is kind of wild, to be honest. You know, like something that would be like what the Ferengi would name their worlds. I mean, outside of like Ferenginar, I suppose. But let's see here. Is there anything that's even mildly close to that? It would probably be in the humans category or humanoid. First wave, expeditionary fleets, strike fleets, defense fleets. None of these are particularly corporation-y. We could go with like hive mind themes. That would be kind of funny. Devours proteins, robust organ. Those would be pretty funny leader names. I'm not gonna lie. We might go with this hive mind one, but we're actually a corporation. I like the idea. And our ship prefix is, of course, going to be cash. Fantastic. And now that means that we need to come up with an acronym for this. We'll get there. So in our trait list here, what are we going to go with? Well, definitely, like, things that are good for building. Specifically, like, megastructures. That's kind of what we want to go for here. So what do we have for those sorts of options? I mean, we could go with, like, industrious for extra minerals. There's natural engineers, which would be kind of interesting for that. I mean, everybody should not like us very much. There's no doubt about that. We will probably be... Will we be wasteful? No, we're trying to run this lean, right? We're going to be cutting the fat. That's the idea. This is like full-on capitalism. So in that case, we're probably going to go for something along the lines of thrifty, perhaps? Trade value from jobs. That would be a pretty decent one. And do we also become industrious? Ingenious might not be bad. So we're at -2 right now. That's not shocking. We're going to go for repugnant. Nobody likes us. I mean, look at us. We look like this. No one likes us, and we are trying to impose our will on all of them. So we can get another, like, -2+2, if there is such a thing. Like, unruly. Empire size from Pops would be interesting, actually. That kind of goes counter to how I usually play, so we'll see how that plays out. Unruly into something like adaptive. Or we could go for industrious here, or intelligent. Intelligent would kind of offset unruly. It would definitely be interesting. But I feel like industrious is kind of more appropriate here. So I think this is what we're going to go with here. It's very spicy. What kind of a world are we from? We are obviously from a desert world. We have removed the... we've removed the water as a resource, and we've sold it off. So that's absolutely fine. What is our homeworld name going to be? Exeter. With our star being Grim Shepherd. I don't know about that. What else do we have here? Marbell. Teary Moat. Yeah, I don't know about that. What other options are coming up in the random here? I'm just mostly looking for ideas here. Night Birth is an interesting name for our star name. I don't hate that. Entropy's Promise. That's actually kind of interesting, considering, like, that's ironic, right? I kind of like it. Considering our backstory here, we are the cause of entropy. So, like, capitalism as entropy. Huh. That's an interesting concept. Okay, well, let's go ahead and click next here, and we're going to go with what type of city. I'm just looking through these. This is purely cosmetic here. We could go with, like, I'm trying to decide which of these look the most, like, bland and corporate. I'm leaning towards the reptilian city. I think that one looks the most corporate to me. It's either that or the humanoid city. I'm thinking reptilian. We'll go with that. So what is our origin going to be? Well, we're going to have to check through these and see what we've got to see if there's anything that even vaguely fits what I've laid out here so far. Resource consolidation. That would start with a machine world. So that's not really what we're going for here. Let's see. Teachers of the Shroud. Not really. Payback. It's a challenging origin, yes. We're not really going for that either. Prosperous Unification is kind of the default one. Mechanist, Syncretic Evolution, Life-Seeded. Shattered Ring is interesting, for sure. That might be a decent way to go. Other types of settlement, other than ring worlds, become undesirable. Which is slightly wild. Galactic Doorstep, huh? Start with a dormant gateway in our home system. Yeah, that's not really what I'm going for here. I'm a little bit surprised that there aren't more, like, mega corporation origins here. I feel like that's an oversight at this point. They should add some. Clone Army, Here Be Dragons, Progenitor Hive, Ocean Paradise, Subterranean, Imperial Fiefdom, Slingshot to the Stars, Overtuned. That's genetic modification. Fear of the Dark here, Broken Shackles. Yeah, those just aren't really what I'm looking for. It's a little unfortunate. We may end up going for Prosperous Unification because that's kind of the best we can do. Yeah. It feels like there needs to be more mega corporation origins here. Okay, so our government is going to be corporate, for sure. What kind of corporate are we doing here? So we are looking to build things, and we will provide bids to other empires and to ourselves, and we will bid on projects. Once the project is complete, then it is complete. But they can't decline our bids. That's the thing. So with that in mind, that's definitely like fairly authoritarian. So this is like authoritarian fanatic materialist is what we're thinking about here. And it would be, of course, corporate. And we'd be looking for, what do we have here? Mastercraft Incorporated. Artificers? That's a possibility. What I'm really looking for is construction things, right? There's trading posts, scavengers, and I'm not sure if this even exists. Ruthless competition, relentless industrialists. This might not be a bad idea. Gradually turning planets into tomb worlds. I mean, what else is there? Privatized exploration. Interesting. Private prospectors, empire size from systems reduction, permanent employment. Oh my. The posthumous employment center. Assemble pops will have the zombie trait. So zombie jobs. You can't even get out of work if you die. That's hilarious. I like that, but I'm not sure it's exactly what we're going for here. But I'm not sure that there's anything that's exactly perfect. There's brand loyalty and anglers. We're definitely not going for anglers here. There's franchising, free traders, indentured assets. I mean, permanent employment is pretty funny. Maybe we should go with that. We are, after all, necroids, technically. So, permanent employment, and we have one more civic pick that we can do here. What do we want to go for? Relentless industrialists? I mean, that does gradually turn planets into tomb worlds. Empire size from systems reduction. I kind of feel like Mastercraft Incorporated is the way to go here. Every 3 industrial districts grant 1 building slot, except on habitats. Okay, that's interesting to note. So we would go with something along the lines of this. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. We're currently on Hive Mind, but we're on Necroid.
First time user setup initialized. Let me show you around. Maybe play you a sound. The Empire looks pretty groovy. Or if you want something visual that's not too abysmal, we could take in an old primitive society themed hollow.
I'm not sure I've ever heard this advisor before. Okay, we could go, we're probably going to go with like Ruthless Conglomerate or Slick Corporation here though.
Our goal is to create a galactic system that maximizes innovative self-actualization and redefines future-proof solutions for every stage of a customer's life. Megacorp, we're with you every step of the way.
I mean, that would be pretty ironic, actually. I kind of like that.
Every successful economy is built around a hopeless cycle of repetition where we sell you the empty promise of happiness and fulfillment, and unfulfilled as ever, you still come back for more.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. We're going with the Slick Corporation.
Our goal is to create a galactic system.
Yes, fantastic. So what do we got here? Maloquian Transstellar. No, we're not going to go with this. We are going to go with the Atreides Interstellar Construction Company. Fantastic. With the adjective being builder. Wonderful. Okay, for our flag, we need to get a bit of a move on here. No doubt about that. But for our flag, are we going to go with, like, Necroid insignia? That would be kind of funny here. But no, I think that we would go with a corporate insignia, and it would be like this one, building block slotting into place. It's not exactly correct, but it's good enough. For our primary and secondary colors, I think that we would go with something... I don't love that. This isn't bad as far as the pattern goes. Yeah, we could go with something like this. Our primary color would be maybe not like this purple, like a blue like that. Cool. And then the secondary color would be like a... that's maybe a bit too orange. But we're looking for like a very traditional pairing of colors here. So like orange and blue would be fine. We're looking for something that would, you know, definitely make it past a focus group. Cool. This sounds good to me. That'll be fine. So we're going to have our ship appearance being whatever looks the most corporate, which is probably mammalian, although reptilian is reasonably bland and corporate as well. We may well go with reptilian here. The rest of these aren't really what we're looking for. Imperial is not terrible. Maybe we go with Imperial. I think we do. Okay, cool. So we're going to be the Chief Executive Officer. Yep, and this is all just going to be left at default. I don't really care about any of this. Stairs downward. I like it. Cool. So we'll go ahead and save this, and that will be our company here. As far as all of this goes, this game is not eligible for achievements because we do not have Iron Man on. And grabbing this is really awkward. I'll have to scroll like so. So it would be eligible if we did this. Okay. Otherwise, I think we'll leave this at the default settings here. We're on Grand Admiral difficulty. Scaling difficulty is set for mid-game. Yeah, that looks good. It is currently eligible for achievements because Iron Man is on. We'll go ahead and turn that off, and there we go. Let's do this. We're only turning that off because we are in a beta version of the game here. We will turn that back on, as I said before, if we end up having to restart this, and we'll just reuse this existing species, but we'll see what happens with that. In the eons since the first primitive Maloqui communities took shape amid the great dune seas of Entropy's promise, our civilization has spread and prospered. In the early days, our people were governed by primitive feudal realms and inefficient nation-states. Gradually, as global trade increased, the influence of private corporations grew steadily until their power far surpassed the governments that once tried to regulate them. After a series of mergers and violent takeovers during the destructive corporate wars, a single megacorporation eventually emerged as the sole ruling body of our homeworld. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Atreides Interstellar Construction Company have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Now, what does CASH actually stand for? There's a lot of potential options there. Construction as something huge. That's terrible. That's absolutely awful. Okay, that's not going to be what that stands for, but we'll figure it out at some point. So we'll get the physics research from researchers is very good here. Society research from researchers, and engineering research from researchers. Fantastic. Where are we? Not an amazing position, but we do have access over this connection between these two arms. So that's not terrible. We do see a desert world out over here and here. That will be our guaranteed habitable worlds. So we can go out and immediately begin surveying here. We also probably want to immediately prioritize the engineering research here. So we'll get that done. The Mindful Swarm is currently here with no admiral. That's fine. And what do we have on our planet? We do have a posthumous employment center. Cool. So we're growing Maloqui, and we are assembling these Maloqui. So as a question, they are going to be zombies. Resources from jobs minus 25%. They have no upkeep. They cannot generate leaders or be employed in ruler or specialist jobs. So they're going to be only worker strata, and they are worse than our normal pops. And they're not affected by happiness. Interesting. Well, that's going to be very, very fascinating indeed. Let's head on out and start exploring. We're going to find Dahlberg here. We, of course, need to begin some construction. And so we shall. We're on normal speed right now. I'm going to bump that up to fast. I feel like fastest at this stage of the game is a little too much. For the record, we're not planning on going until we've conquered the entire galaxy. I want this to be a little bit shorter than the standard Stellaris games that we've been playing,
Upscaling
so
complete.
that'll be good. We finished up our research station here, and where is our construction ship? There it is. We will next be going for our... Here it is. We'll be going for our minerals here. Cool. We should probably pump out an additional science ship basically right away at this point. We'll get that going. The Ute Empire, huh? We've recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Dahlberg 3. Our scientists think they inhabited this region of stars roughly 6 million years ago, based on the age of the artifacts. The aliens called themselves the Ute, and appear to have been very large and flat arthropod analogs. It seems a single individual could reach a length of nearly 100 meters as an adult, and it was apparently exceedingly rare for more than 2 or 3 Ute to travel aboard the same starship. Interesting.
Situation log revised.
The Cache Inquirer has made a startling find on Dahlberg 3. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we've encountered life forms that did not originate on Entropy's Promise. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believe we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Dahlberg 3 are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. We may not be alone out here. Indeed, we may not. Cool, so we'll be able to inhabit Dahlberg 3, no problem. Intelligent life taunts with pointed absence, reads a popular Newsnet post on Entropy's Promise. The people of the Atreides Interstellar Construction Company are apparently finding some humor in the fact that lower forms of alien life are now a matter of public record, but potential equals from other stars continue to elude us. The report on the traces of alien life that were recently found seemingly only add an ironic twist to the situation. Remarkable. And the Atreides Interstellar Construction Company is abuzz with news of the alien organisms discovered some time ago. While far from intelligent, there is life out there. Intriguing. And first contact protocols. A recent encounter with alien life forms has reignited and made suddenly more urgent the old debate on how we should approach contacting any potentially intelligent alien civilizations we may meet. While some advocate focusing on establishing friendly relations as quickly as possible by contacting them with a message of peace, others advise caution, pointing out that we cannot know whether alien minds bear ill intent towards us, and that it would be unwise to let them know too much about us before it is necessary. A third, more radical group push for preemptive action against them. With the security of all Maloqui at risk, they say, we dare not hesitate to take whatever measures necessary to gain the upper hand against any potential Xeno threat. We are going to greet the Xeno with open arms until they decide to decline our contracts, at which point we will begin to attack them until our contract is fulfilled. Perfect. So we have the science ship done. We're going to need a new leader here, and we'll go ahead and recruit one. That will be... I don't really care. Any of these are fine. We'll go with this guy. Fantastic. I love how all of these are completely identical. That's amazing. We're going to survey Kornagi here, and that'll be fine. Cool. So we're making solid progress here. We'll queue up our next mining station. This is an 800-day anomaly. We're going to leave that be until we have higher level ships. No point in doing that for now. Cool. We're currently making 3.72 influence per month. Okay, that's fine. Governing ethic plus 0.5 is not bad. We will definitely take that. So, we are not looking to conquer the universe. We're basically just going until I feel like we've achieved our goals, whatever those goals happen to be. or until things feel like they're getting stale. In the late game, Stellaris does tend to feel that way, so we'll see. We're going to make our way over to Dahlberg, and we now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Entropy's promise. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. Sure, a commendable
Situation
initiative.
log
That sounds
revised.
fine. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to embark on our first construction contract. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Ro Corvid, Kintogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.